All right, so Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, thank you for meeting with me today.
A pleasure to have you in my district today.
That's right, we're in your district. Have you ever been to the Gypsy Den before?
Absolutely.
What's your favorite things here?
Oh, they have a great soup when it's cold, which isn't that usual here in the area of Southern California, but when it is, they have the best soup around.
Let's say I was to borrow your iPod for a day. What would I end up listening to?
Well, my favorite, I have to tell you, is opera. So you would find a lot of Italian bel canto type of opera, meaning the real, you know, like Puccini and that type. You would find Dave Matthews Band.
Oh,
you
good.
would find, my latest is Sugarland. I just heard them in concert a while ago, so I downloaded some of that.
So tell me about your relationship with Nancy Pelosi.
Well, Nancy is a fellow Californian, so she is a thinker of the future. We're futurists in California. You know, they say that whatever happens in California 10 or 20 or 30 years later, the rest of the country is catching up.
Right.
So, you know, she always says it's something about maybe something in the water or the air that we breathe, but we're really on the cutting edge of so many things, of the renewable fuels, on the environment, on healthcare and new technologies. The movie industry is here. We're very international in a lot of ways, so she feels the same way. I mean, it's really a kindred soul in the sense of she thinks about the future, and that's what I like to think about.
Are you two really close?
Well, we used to be much closer before she became speaker. Now she's so busy all the time.
How did you react when you first heard we're going to have a female Speaker of the House?
Well, I was one of the people who helped count the votes for her to have that leadership position. So we worked very hard as Californians to get her in. First time we've had a Californian, the first time we've had a woman. And you know, Nancy, a lot of things are said about her, whether she's like a liberal San Franciscan or what have you, but she's actually really smart politically. She's really a dynamite lady. And, you know, she's probably going to kill me for saying this, but at the heart of it all, she's like a 67-year-old Italian grandma, you know? I mean, she just loves family, and she loves her kids and her grandkids, and I really like that about her. For the last 12 years that I've been a congresswoman, I go 3 or 4 days to vote in Washington, D.C., and then I return back here every weekend. So I'm here 3 or 4 days. And when I'm here, I'm working. So I'm out and about. I'm going to things, to health fairs. I'm visiting businesses to see what types of jobs people have and what are the problems. We hold these office hours, for example, on Saturday mornings in front of the grocery stores like a Ralph's or a Safeway. And we let people know we're going to be there, so because people don't have time between Monday and Friday to take off from work, or they can't afford to take off from work, but they have something they want to tell me, or they have a problem they want me to try to help solve, then we let them come on Saturday mornings, and I have my office staff there, and so we can start up the paperwork on whatever it is we're trying to solve for you.
What were some of your goals that you had before entering Congress, and some of the goals that you've accomplished, and the goals that you still have yet to accomplish?
We developed a program called Gear Up, and we actually put it into federal legislation, and it's now a program around the United States where kids learn math and science skills, and they have scholarships to go to universities. So that was pretty exciting. Another thing that I really worked hard on, and I'm very pleased about, was that in the last year that President Clinton, that was in the year 2000, that he was president, we increased the funding for Head Start kids by $1 billion above what they had, and that's continued to be in place every year. And that was important to me because I'm a Head Start kid, and I understand how important it is for kids to be prepared and ready when they enter kindergarten. Nancy placed me as the vice chairman of the Committee on Homeland Security after 9/11. So I worked on war and terrorism.
Cheers. Can I get a cheers to that?
Thank you.
All in a day's work, right? So what does a Latina bring to the mix of Congress?
Oh, well, I think there are 7 Latinas in Congress, and I think we all have our individual personalities, and we're all feisty and strong women, each in our own right. Or my sister, who's working a lot on judiciary issues, like she's going after Karl Rove, for example.
Wow.
Or so I think we're all having an impact in the Congress.
And speaking of your sister, you two are both congresswomen, and you wrote a book together, and Nancy Pelosi wrote the foreword for your book.
That's correct. It's called Dream in Color, and it just came out in September, and we're on book tour with it, my sister and I. It's a motivational book, and it's for anybody who wants to, anybody who's been told, no, you can't do that. Right. And this is sort of a book on, you know, yeah, you can, and we
Right.
give you permission to do it. And exactly.
What are some other obstacles that you faced? Not only being a woman.
Well, being a
but
woman was the biggest one. Being Hispanic.
when you go to Disneyland, do you get front of line privileges? Because then I might want to run for Congress just for that perk right there.
No, you know, the Congress people, even when we go to the airport,
Yeah.
we have to take our shoes off
Right.
and wait in line and get wanded like everybody else, and we can't take water in and the whole works. So there's really not that kind of special treatment.
So it's a misconception that, you get all these.
We don't have limos, and we don't have Learjets, and we don't have pensions that pay us millions of dollars. We're actually very hardworking people, most of us. It's an incredible honor and privilege that the people would choose me and send me back to Washington, D.C. to not only try to solve their problems, but more importantly to make sure that the opportunities exist for them to be able to achieve their dreams. It's
Aw.
a really big responsibility, and I love every day of it. That's why I wake up every day just ready to go at it, ready to go fight for them.
And if you weren't a congresswoman, what else do you think you'd be doing?
Oh, I think that I would be setting up businesses for women in other nations and trying to just get women empowerment.
Can I high five a congresswoman?
Yes.